So 2021 is about to come to a close, you know, and when I'm thinking like on a global scale of how the majority of the world feels about 2021, I think we can all agree that we're going to say, later, bitch, bye. We are going to welcome 2022 with open arms. We're just going to embrace 2022 and just be like, listen, you got to be better. You've got to be better than 2021 because 2020 was rough. It was really bad. 2021, you teased us and you gave us blue balls and ran off like you never talked to us before. In 2022, you gotta be freaking better. Okay, you gotta be. You gotta save us from this, whatever the freak we're going through. That was probably uncomfortable for a lot of you. That was kind of uncomfortable for me. Even, you know, it was a little weird. All right, it was weird. But anyway, we're not here to talk about that. We're here to talk about my top 20 because this list started off as top 50 and I had to condense that because I was like, yeah, there ain't no way I'm releasing an hour and a half video, just not now anyway. But I have 20 fragrances. If you care to hear more about these selections, well, then you better stay tuned. And you already wasted like 2 minutes of your time anyway, so you might as well stick around anyhow. We'll be right back. First of all, spending any amount of time with me is not a freaking waste. So, yeah, let's just get that out of the way real quick. You know what? Let's get 2 honorable mentions out of the way real quick. Before we do that, I want to hear from you all. What were some of your favorite pickups of 2021? Your favorite pickups? Because just like this list here, this is not about new releases. This is about favorite pickups of 2021. So let me know what are some of your favorite pickups of 2021. Now there is a few releases here from 2021, but anyway, let's talk about honorable mentions first. Then we'll get to the list and I'll tell you exactly what's going on with that because there was a little strategic placement of these fragrances. So bear with me here. First 2 honorable mentions, Stronger With You Absolutely and Dior Homme Parfum. Now, why are these only honorable mentions? These would have made the list if they were readily freaking available, but they're not. So they're just honorable mentions. Does that mean they're not great or anything like that? No, they are fantastic. Matter of fact, I featured this in 2 videos, and I haven't featured this one at all because it's really hard it's even more difficult to find Dior Homme Parfum than it is Absolutely. So Dior Homme Parfum, in short, is slightly resinous in the base. It's a little woody. Little woody, you get it? Waxy, lipsticky iris is what it's known for. A little powdery. Kind of smells like a makeup bag or something like that. Freaking phenomenal date night stuff, very sexy stuff. Absolutely is much different in scent profile. I've explained it in the past, but this is also great for sexy time. You dig? You dig. Sweet, little boozy. You know, I've said it before. I'm going to say it again. For some reason, designers are afraid to give us a little bit of that amped up boozy nature that we so crave. I don't know where I was going with that, but anyway, Strong With You Absolutely. Little sweet, not cloyingly sweet. Great fragrance, awesome release for 2021, but you're not freaking readily available. And once you become readily available, I'll talk about you more. Well, I'll probably talk about you more in like a week or 2, but anyway, we'll put you down for now. Now is the moment that you've been waiting for, the list. I said that I strategically placed these 20 fragrances. So the first 10 that you are going to hear about are going to be like my favorites from spring and summer, you know, so warmer weather. The back half of the 10, the top, I don't want to say top 10 because that's going to get confusing, but the other side of the 10, the remaining 10 are going to be more geared toward your fall, your winter, you know, darker scents, cold weather appropriate scents. Kicking this list off proper is the most viewed video. Well, the fragrance review was the most viewed video that I've ever released to date. That comes from the house of Rasasi. This is Fattan pour Homme. So a couple of you have tried to make fun of me in a couple of videos and it didn't work because you actually ended up liking this. Told you so. Anyway, this is all about fruity vetiver. So, you know, you have your fruits in here. Oh, you have vetiver. It's such a nice, clean smelling vetiver, you know, rooty vetiver, a little earthy. You know, that type of style in combination with these fruits. Oftentimes compared to Terre de Hermès, just like I said in the video, it does not remind me of Terre de Hermès because that fragrance just didn't take well, not only to my nose, to my skin. It smelled, on my skin, it smelled just weird. And if I, you know, don't like that and I like this, that goes to kind of show you that they don't really smell alike. Rasasi, Fattan, Parfum in the first, in the 10th spot. This is not ranked, by the way. So whatever you want to say, I'll roll with you. The next fragrance, big ass bottle of Wulong Cha from Nishane. This stuff is incredible. This is what I consider the niche version to Maison Martin Margiela's from the replica line, Under the Lemon Trees. Almost escaped my brain. But Under the Lemon Trees, that's what this reminds me of. They don't smell exactly the same because in here, in the base, you have fig. But this is so bright. It's so refreshing. Again, invigorating, very lively, very bright. Could really enhance your mood. You have oolong tea in here as a featured note. Just an incredible fragrance. I love this stuff. Another great thing about this is just like the, you know, most of the Nishane line, this is an extrait de parfum, so you don't need much of this stuff. I wore this a ton in the spring and summer. It doesn't look like I wore a ton, given the level of juice there that I guess you could say that I haven't used. But let me tell you, this stuff is so powerful that you really don't need more than 3 or 4 sprays at max. Great one from Nishane, Wulong Cha. Next fragrance, this was one of my favorite designer releases of 2021. One that I actually like so much that I picked up a bottle of it. You guys know, you probably have seen that video, but Dolce Gabbana, the One Forever. Fantastic grapefruit, great vetiver dry down. Almost gives you the idea of being near the beach, not in the water, but near the beach, kind of just catching the mist there, and you get that kind of like oceanic vibe. I get that here without it being, you know, a marine or an aquatic fragrance. So very nice way they were able to capture that. I'm guessing the flanker to this, that'll probably be out around springtime 2022, just because that's kind of like their thing where they release their flankers. I don't think they're going to, you know, produce a hit this year, but we'll see. We'll see. I'll remain slightly optimistic, but this one was still fantastic for the summertime months. In the when it gets, you know, late spring, early summer, I'll be rocking this a ton, just like I did this past year. Like, we're out of 2021. Not yet. We're not out yet. But yeah, great one from the house of Dolce Gabbana. I really enjoy Light Blue Forever. Great, refreshing scent, like I said. Next one. What can I say? Love this stuff, man. Musk Therapy from Initio Parfum. Privé. Oh, man, is this so good. You have that bright tangerine note, acting like the sun, piercing through those clouds of musk in the fragrance. That's the way I described it. And really, that's what it says to me. I'm going to spray it. So potent, so powerful. And I know for some people, they say 2 different things. They say, you know, I don't get a lot of performance. You may be going nose blind or anosmic to it. The other thing is a lot of people experience femme or feminine vibes with this. For me, I'm going to still say it's completely unisex, completely up to you if you would like to wear this or not. Just given the feedback, giving back the feedback that I was provided, I'm going to give it back to you and say, sample this, don't blind buy it, just in case you're like, not for me. This, to me, was a great release for 2021. I love this fragrance. Was love at first sniff for me. Started off as a sample, ended up as a full bottle, and one that I wore a ton. I even took this to Florida on vacation with me. Shout out to you, Melly Mel. What's up? But anyway, yeah, guys, Musk Therapy for me was definitely a hit in 2021. All right, so this fragrance here, talked a lot about it, talked a lot about the house too. This, I keep wanting to say this past year, but we're still in 2021. Anka Kus, A Moment in Manhattan. This stuff is so great. Tart, blueberry in the top. Then it dries down to this. Again, you have kind of a vetiver base going on here. Almost hay-like in a sense. You have ambergris in here. Creates an oceanic vibe, again, without smelling exactly like an aquatic fragrance or a marine fragrance. But this stuff is so mass appealing, but it's One of those higher end, like you could smell the luxury in this fragrance, in the composition here. Masterfully blended. I love this fragrance, one that I'm not going to stop talking about in 2022. I'm going to tell you that right now because more people need to experience the beauty that is A Moment in Manhattan from Anka Kus. Sticking with the theme of being, you know, kind of mass appealing, this one was again released in 2021. And I know this was hit or miss with a lot of people, but it was a hit for me. I really enjoyed H24 from the house of Hermès. I thought they did a great job with this fragrance. Still feel the same. Fresh, clean, has a bit of a, whoa, has a bit of a, try to punch me in the face. Back up. Has a bit of this like cucumber water type of smell in the opening. And then it dries down to like this fresh, refreshing, almost like, I guess picture taking a dress shirt out of your dryer, you know, where it has that still that faint smell of your dryer sheets. You put it on your ironing board and you start pressing it because this does have a metallic accord in it, and unmistakably you will pick that up. Just very fresh, clean vibes that this gives me, while also having a bit of a green feel without smelling exactly like grass or anything like that. I am assuming there is like a green accord in here, but yeah, that's what I get from this one. H24 to me, I know, like I said, a hit or miss to some. I actually really enjoy this, and just like I said when I did the full review on this, I really think Hermès has something special here and something to build off of, and I'm assuming they will since they tend to build off of their new releases. So I'm looking forward to see if they do a follow-up to this 2022, or maybe they're just going to wait until 2023 and see what we get. Let's hope for the best. I guess I have more releases from 2021 than I thought. Huh? That's kind of scary. Anyway, this one flew under the radar. I knew it was going to fly under the radar, which is part of the reason why I did a full review on this one. This, of course, coming from the house of Xerjoff. This one is called Coexistence. This is an amazing fragrance. It's really beautiful. Powerful osmanthus. You know, fruity osmanthus. Almost in the opening, you get a combination of that fruity osmanthus and a mix in there of blackcurrant. So it really enhances the fruity nature of osmanthus. If you catch it in the opening and put it right up to your hand, you may be thinking, wow, this kind of smells like wine. And then it quickly fades away. You start to get, you know, the florals start to develop. The black currant makes itself more pronounced, more, you know, known through the composition. Also, you have rose in here and a touch, and I mean a touch of oud. The oud here is hardly detectable at all. To my nose, it's just giving this slight spicy nature, but still a fantastic fragrance. Really beautiful, well-composed fragrance. Xerjoff knocked it out of the park with this one. I still encourage you guys, you know, if you pick up those little sample packs from Xerjoff, definitely include Coexistence. I really do think more people need to experience the beauty inside of this bottle and outside. It's a pretty great looking bottle as well. But this one, great release for 2021 and a great fragrance from 2021, Coexistence from Xerjoff. Next, going to the house of Parle-moi Parfum. This is called Mile High 38. This right here is a combination of creamy coconut, pineapple, some other stuff. It just really reminds me sitting on the beach with a non-alcoholic beverage or a virgin beverage in my hand. Fantastic, fruity, creamy goodness that you have going on here. Oh my God, man. This stuff is just so good. Completely unisex. If you enjoy style of fragrances like this, you are going to love this. It's kind of a no-brainer to me. You could dress this one up. You could wear it casually. It's just really fun and just a great fragrance to wear, at least for me. That's what I experienced from this. So let me know if you guys have ever checked out any offerings too from Parle-moi Parfum. Let me know in the comment section below. But this one here, Mile High 38, fantastic fragrance. So glad I discovered it in 2021 and added it to my collection. Man, I talked about this fragrance a lot for good reason. This is a really fantastic fragrance. Etat Libre d'Orange, You or Someone Like You, which, by the way, this was my introduction to Etat. And let me tell you, This has the most photorealistic note of mint that I have ever smelled in a fragrance. Not only that, but again, kind of like H24, this just smells very clean. You have white florals in here, but unlike most white floral focused fragrances, this doesn't smell like every other white floral fragrance out there. This goes a little bit different. It's more clean. It smells like, again, like fresh, clean clothes, like think things like that, you know? And it's just a pleasure and joy to wear. Oh, and it's just an invigorating, uplifting type of scent, and one that I loved wearing throughout the warmer days of spring and summer. Incredible fragrance, and honestly, any offering from Etat Libre d'Orange, well, not any, I'm sorry, most offerings from Etat Libre d'Orange are worth looking into just because of how affordable these small 30 ml bottles are. You can see I wore this a lot over the course of spring and summer, and you can see the dent right there. I mean, I still have a good, what? This is a 30 milliliter bottle. I still have a good probably 20, 22 milliliters left. So don't think just because the bottles are small and they cost 58 bucks that you're not going to get a ton of wears out of them. You can get a ton of wears out of these bottles and still have plenty left over to wear the following year, or, you know, so on and so forth. Last but most definitely not least for the fresher side of things. So fougères. Okay, I'm going to end it with a fougère, but, well, we're going to continue, but we're going to end the fresh part of this list with the fougère. And let me tell you guys something. I bought probably 13 or 14 fougères this year. This happened to be one of them. My God, I love this stuff. It's so friggin' good. This comes from the house of Roja Parfum. This one is called Scandal pour Homme Parfum. This one is so freaking amazing. Oh, it starts off so bright, fresh. You have citruses up top. Just like, it starts off just like classical fougères did. You know, it starts off very bright, very fresh. You have some green nuances in the opening as well. Aromatic spices that come in a little bit later on. Then you have this nice transition where this creamy lavender is introduced, giving it a barbershop feel. Woods in the base, patchouli, oak moss, fantastic smell. You want to talk about uber luxe, luxurious, you know, sophisticated, grown-up, upscale gentleman. If you like that kind of vibe and that's what you're trying to give off, Scandal pour Homme is fantastic. I'm actually going to do a full review on this fragrance soon because it certainly is worthy. My God, is this stuff gorgeous. Sample this if you haven't. So freaking good. But anyway, Roja Parfum, Scandal pour Homme Parfum. Okay, so I hope you enjoyed part one, I guess you could say, of this video. So the first 10, like I said, were geared more toward, you know, your spring, your summer months. Now we're going to move over to my top 10 favorite pickups of 2021 that were more targeted for colder weather. At least in my opinion, these are. So I want to start it off here with an indie niche house called For the Scent of It. My man Michael is doing some killer things over there. This fragrance is called Tobacco Pod. Tobacco Pod starts off very, very spicy. You have cloves in here. You have nice warm spices. I'm assuming maybe a combination of cinnamon, nutmeg in here. This fresh pipe tobacco smell is what I get. A little bit of vanilla in the base. What a wonderful fragrance this is. Fantastic performer. And I'm going to tell you, you want to talk about a brand on the rise. I have two other samples here off to my left that Michael was so kind to send me when I purchased this bottle here. Man, his house, Michael is doing some phenomenal stuff for the scent of it. I'm telling you right now, you are going to hear a lot more about this house on this channel come 2022. If you haven't, I highly encourage you to check out Tobacco Pod For the Scent of It, especially if you are a tobacco lover. The next fragrance that I want to talk about comes from Dior, and of course, it is none other than Elixir. Dior Elixir. Francois Demachet did a phenomenal job with his proper send-off. What he did here was something, actually it was amazing. So I know there's a lot of you that hate the Sauvage DNA, but let me tell you what he did. He said, I'm going to have that Sauvage DNA take a backseat. I'm going to push to the front some spices, this colder note of lavender, and I'm going to make this just the most amazing Sauvage that has been released. This is now my favorite from the line, moving ahead of Sauvage Parfum, which you guys know I love. But this one I like so much more, and I think it's because it's a little bit more artistic, outside of the box thinking that went into this, in my opinion, especially for a designer. Something that we haven't quite smelled from a designer in quite some time, which gives 2022 a little bit of hope for the designer world. But a great release nonetheless, Sauvage Elixir. Next, we're talking about a fragrance that I was just dying to add to my collection this year and had the opportunity to do so, and I snatched the opportunity. Behold Patchouli from Gallagher Fragrances. The best patchouli fragrance I've ever smelled in my entire life. You have orange citruses in here. You have a note of chocolate, I believe, which is the same note that was used in Wicked Good. But anyway, I digress. Getting back to this one, you have your frankincense in here, which gives this, fragrance a smoky sort of vibe. Then your patchouli. Your patchouli is a dark style of patchouli. It's also a little damp, wet, earthy style of patchouli. I absolutely love this stuff. It is so good. If you're a patchouli lover and you haven't sampled this one, you really need to do it. You owe it to yourself and your nose to try this one. Behold Patchouli from Gallagher Fragrances. What can I say, P. Along? You killed it when you created Chipmunk for the House of Zoologists. Man, what a fantastic fall winter type fragrance this is. Starts off spicy. You have nice, warm, cozy spices. Then you have these woods. In combination with the woods, you have this nice note of patchouli, creating this damp, earthy vibe. And then you have these nutty facets in the base, which adds a nice creaminess to the composition. Much needed, in my opinion. What a fantastic job P. Along did when she perfumed this one. A great release for 2021. Chipmunk by Zoologist. Another must try if you have not already tried this one. The next fragrance is, yeah, you guessed it, another tobacco. This one comes from the house of Daniel Josier. This is none other than Ombre To Back. Fantastic tobacco fragrance. You also have some warm spices in here. Your cinnamon. Cinnamon's loud. It's a big player in this fragrance. You also have bergamot here, which gives it more of like an apple sort of a vibe. A great fragrance. Crowd-pleasing, mass-appealing type of tobacco. Don't think blue fragrance, mass-appealing. Just think crowd-pleasing. People are going to love the way that you smell because while this does give off certain, masculine vibes, it also borders between playful and serious. Very well-crafted, well-blended fragrance that I've been loving, and I've been crushing this too. Put a nice little dent in there for only having this for about a month or 5 weeks. Love this fragrance. So good. Glad that I added it to the collection this year. Daniel Josier, Ombre To Back, 100% worth sampling if you've never tried it before. The next fragrance that I'm going to be talking about was another 2021 launch from the house of Goldfield and Banks. This is Silky Woods. What a fantastic combination of vanilla, oud, and tobacco. Great fragrance. Honestly, top two, in my opinion, from the house. I think I would put Desert Rosewood in that conversation with top two and kind of have them, battle it out, jockeying for that number one position, if you will. Also, I would say this is top three, sits in my top three vanilla fragrances in my collection. I love this stuff. It's really great. If you love smoky vanilla style fragrances, you will absolutely love this one. Definitely check it out if you haven't already. Silky Woods from the house of Goldfield and Banks. I've been wanting to add this fragrance for quite some time, and I did this year. This one, of course, from the house of Kerosene is called Follow. The best coffee fragrance I have smelled to date. So good. This is an amber style coffee. Semi-gourmand, but not really. So you do have some sweet notes in here. You have sap, maple sap in here. You have vanilla. You have coffee absolute. Really fresh. If you have whole bean coffee beans in your home, that's kind of what this smells like to me right off top. Not going to get into it here because I'm going to be talking about this a bunch in the weeks to follow. Follow. Get it? Boo. Anyway, Kerosene Follow. Fantastic coffee fragrance. If you're looking for the one coffee fragrance to have, it is this one right here. Fantastic fragrance. I really do love this stuff. Great coffee fragrance here. Check it out if you haven't already. All right, so we're down to the last 3 fragrances here. And when it comes to this house, what a phenomenal 2021 this house had, right? We saw the Z Creators, 3, brand new fragrances launch, all fantastic. We saw Rosé, arguably one of the best rose fragrances out on the market, but we have Tabac. They gave us Tabac. Xerjoff gave us Tabac, and they gave us something very incredible here. It's slightly sweet. There's definitely gourmand notes in here, but it opens up with this beautiful chocolate Maduro cigar type of smell. So imagine having a cigar that's infused with this chocolate. That's what I get on the opening. The blonde woods, remind me of being inside of a humidor, selecting, going through, seeing which cigar that I would like to select. And you have boozy nuances here. I don't detect a whole lot of booze, but they're definitely there and then fade away. And you have some smoky incense style notes, combination of that frankincense, that myrrh and oud in the base, some sandalwood, some sugar as well. Although, again, not overly sweet. Some people say they really get the sweet notes. Not what I experience. I experience more of that tobacco more than anything, in combination with everything that I just mentioned for like 45 seconds. But anyway, the House of Xerjoff Tabac. Guys, this stuff is just freaking phenomenal. Rumor has it that there's going to be 4-ounce bottles launching sometime in the near future. So stay tuned. As soon as we hear updates here, I will let you know in my community tab. But Tabac from Xerjoff, phenomenal. So this fragrance here was a latecomer in 2021. I received this just maybe 2 or 3 weeks ago. This one is Narcotica by Narcotica. Huge shout out to my great friends over at Door Parfum for sending me this stuff. This stuff is so good. It's so masculine. Atomizers are great. You know what? I just realized I went back-to-back Claude Deer fragrances because he also perfumed Tabac. Pretty interesting. So anyway, this opens up bright. It's bright, very aromatic, nice aromatic spice. Lots of woods in here. Very woody style fragrance. You have this note of cannabis. The interesting thing about cannabis is it's giving this fragrance a little bit of a green, almost hops, feel to the fragrance. Heavy freaking bottle, by the way. But anyway, a fantastic, you want to talk about modern, complex, just gentleman masculinity at its finest. That's exactly what this fragrance is. And this is one where it's really hard to pick up on individual notes because of the way that it is strategically blended. And let me tell you guys, it is blended to absolute perfection. It's not cheap by any means. It's not affordable. It's $280 for this bottle here. What I recommend to you is sample it. Door Parfums is from here on out going to be linked in the description below. That link below is going to take you right to that fragrance where you could check out a sample of Narcotica. I highly recommend and suggest you guys just try this out. It's wonderful. It truly, truly is a great one that you can wear. Definitely want to wear to like formal occasions. One that you could, dress up with what I'm like wearing today. Just a great release for 2021. I've just been loving my wears, my testing with this fragrance. A great one from Narcotica, simply called Narcotica. Last but not least, this fragrance here comes from a brand that I was so eager to try in 2021, and I was so glad that I tried a few of their offerings, not just one. Today I'm featuring Plum and Cognac from Scents of Wood. Fantastic brand. The owner, Fabrice, is great. And so is this fragrance. It really is highly addictive, intoxicating, sensual, sexual stuff that also has a sophisticated gourmand nature about it. Just a great fragrance. Great, great fragrance. One that you definitely have to get your nose on if you haven't tried it yet. Great for fall and winter. Great dressed up, out on a date. This is so versatile, so complex, and just delicious. Delicious with that gooey, syrupy type plum in combination with that boozy cognac. The oak barrel accord that's utilized in here is just amazing, guys. You have to try this. It really is great. And that's it, guys. That's all I have for you. These were 20 of my favorite pickups from the year of 2021. 2022 is going to be different, at least on this channel. things are going to be a lot different. And you guys that have stuck with me from the beginning up to this point, or if you're just joining the channel, you are going to love what's coming in 2022. I've been jotting down some ideas. 2022 is going to be special. It really is. And I hope you guys stay here for the whole year of 2022, because I got some tricks up my sleeve that I've had for a while that I'm about to let out, baby. But anyway, guys, love each other. Take care of one another. Respect everyone. Life is far too short for drama and BS, so don't create, don't start, or get involved in any of that. Just live life to the fullest. Let's hope and pray, if you are a praying soul, that 2022 will be better. Will finally be better than 2021 was. So, guys, that's it. I appreciate you. I love you guys. Stay safe. Take care. I'll see you very soon in the next episode. Peace.